All right, we're sitting in Subzilla. In this episode, we're going to be doing a little bit of four-wheeling like this. And something like that. And we're going to enjoy it. We're going to have a little bit of fun. But first, what we got going. I've been doing a lot of work on Subzilla. It's been a while. It's a 1986 K20 Suburban, 3/4 ton. I bought it in 2010. So I've had this thing going on 15 years now. Now it's 2025. So I had it for 15 years. Have put in the new engine, as you can see. Also have done, I've swapped out from the 496. Well, let me back up a little bit. Originally, it had a 350 in it. When I bought it for $1,000, I was going to take the running gear off of this and put it into my Blazer. At the time, I had a 80, was it 89? I think it's an 89 Blazer or 88 Blazer. I had an 88 K5 Blazer. That was the war wagon. But now I got Subzilla. So I originally was going to do that. Want to have another child. And I said, you know what? I need all this room. I used to have a third row seat in here. All that kind of stuff. It was sitting pretty big. So I enjoyed that. It's great for the family. But now the kids are grown, that kind of stuff. But when I bought it, it had the 350. That's not really what the direction I wanted to go. So I had it like maybe not a couple of months. I had it like maybe 2 months. And then I went and found a 454. It's a peanut port. Gen 5, 454, came with a transmission, a whole nine. So I put the whole thing in there, swapped the power plant out. It had a 4L80E in it. I believe it did, or didn't. I can't remember what it had. That is 700R4. I don't remember what it had. I think it was a 700R4. I really don't remember. I don't even remember what I did with that engine when I pulled it out. It's been on the 350. The 350, when I pulled it out, I don't remember what I did with it. I'm totally gone. You get old and you just forget things. I might have sold it to somebody, I think, or traded it off. I don't even remember what I did with it. That's crazy. Anyway, put the 454 peanut port in there. It was okay. Didn't have a lot of just get up and go. It had some torque. It would pull fine. It did okay. But I was like, I need to rebuild it. I need something a little bit more. So I decided to swap it out and put a 496. With that Gen 5, it doesn't have a mechanical fuel pump, boss, right? So I had to put external fuel pump. You know, when Summit Racing, I got a little pump that just bolted to the rail and noisy and loud. It worked, but it was kind of loud and noisy. And I wanted to get a mechanical pump put back on. And at that time, I decided, let's build a 496 and put in here. So that's what I did. Built a 496. Well, I didn't. I had a shop build it. And that was kind of a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. But at the time, I was renting a house. Didn't have a garage. Didn't have any really to work on it to build an engine. So I had them build it. Put that in. And then had a turbo 400 in it. So I swapped that. I put a turbo 400, put a 4L80E in there after the turbo 400. And then I switched it back because that 4L80 blew up. It just had issues. I think it was the one I had here, but I had all the controller and all that kind of stuff. I got all that stuff set up for it, and it was working. It was a pretty good deal. So that worked like a champ. Then, many years later, sitting down here, driving around, do this, do that. I blew up the engine because I moved from. So I was almost at 6,000 feet. I was in Farmington, New Mexico at the time, so I was a pretty high elevation. So I built it up to, I think it was a 10.5-to-1 compression engine. So I had to run a high octane in it. Up there, you could run the low octane, right? Because you're 20 pounds compressed, 20 pounds of compression less than you are at sea level. So once I moved down to sea level, I gained 20 pounds of compression on the 10.5-to-1. Couldn't no longer run the 87. Now, that's about the time gas got really high and it was sitting around, was it $5, $4, something like that? It was a lot. It was costing me like $120 to fill the tank. And at that time, I was driving it quite a bit. And I tried to get away with running some, instead of running 93, tried to run 89. I put that in there. It did not like it. And I wound up blowing a skirt off a piston a little bit. So I think I got pictures. I'll put that right here somewhere, probably. Find that and put it in there. That did not go so well. So I pulled the engine back out, completely rebuilt it, went with a different cam. one with a little bit smaller cam. Actually, I had a pretty good sized cam in it before. It sounded like a race car. Man, it really loped. I think it's 114 degrees lobe separation. Now I'm running 112, so I backed it down a little bit so it wasn't quite as choppy, so I get a little bit better vacuum. I had to run a vacuum canister before. That's how choppy the cam was, but it was fun. Oh my God, it was fun. It would pull. That's where Subzilla really came in, because it was incredible how much this thing would pull. It was ridiculous. So anyway, got all that rebuilt, put in there. Fast forward to end of last year, 23, I think, end of 2023, middle of 2023, maybe beginning of 2024. I had to go back and look and see. It had been sitting in the yard, moved down to Hattiesburg, sat in the backyard for almost 2 years and did nothing with it. Didn't do anything. I pulled it back there, put the fence back up. That's before I built a wood fence and a gate. And I decided, let's get this thing running again. I want to start using it again. Had a motorcycle, I got the Gold Wing right there. That's what I was using that on a daily basis, running the Gold Wing all the time. You get some pretty nasty weather sometimes, so I decided, hey, let's get the Suburban going again. Get Subzilla back in the action. I got it sitting back there, got a lot of money tied up in it. Let's just put some more money in it, right? So guys, you know that one. that's what you do. You get you a Suburban, you get your project truck. God willing, you get a good one. And he says, hey, here's your budget. And you say, okay, if that's what God wants, I'm going to double it. So you wind up putting way more money than you're actually going to put in there. That's just how it goes. So I put a lot of money into it, which I couldn't justify just leaving it sitting in the backyard. So I got to work on it. You saw that video. I think it was the first video I posted on this channel, actually, was getting it running again. Finally got it running. Enjoyed it. It's doing good. And then I decided, let's put some fuel injection on there. So there'll be videos on that coming up. So it's got the Edelbrock Pro Flow 4. I could never say that right. Pro Flow 4. So you got to slow things down once in a while. I know I talk a little fast. Let me try and slow things down. So I got the Pro Flow 4 put on there. And that runs great. And I'm still tuning it in. It doesn't have exactly the power that it had with the Quadrajet, and I think I'm just not getting enough fuel to it. So I need to do some fuel modifiers. I got to do some adjustments. I did a little 0 to 60 run. Put a link in that one in the description, or a little card thingy up here in the corner, whatever. You can click on that. You go check that little short out. I'm gonna do some more of that because I need to get it dialed in better. I need to make some changes to the transmission shift profile, and we'll see how it does. But that's about the big gist of it. I put new shocks. Got some new Milestar Patagonia MT2s. The better mud terrain tires for Milestar. Loving them. They did a lot better. Before, the tires I had, I don't even remember what they were. Something that I bought. And I swapped those out and put them on here, and they were 365, 70, 17, something like that. I got the Humvee wheels, and now I got the Milestar Patagonias on there. It did great, as you can see. You'll find that out. You'll see some of that. That's going to happen. So that's coming up in just a few minutes. Stay with me. New shocks, Bilstein shocks. Let's see what else to do. Put it on new rotors, brakes all the way around. Redid the drum brakes. So I've done quite a bit of stuff to get it going. So this is really the real first, I'm not going to say test, but trial. Because I'm not really pushing it hard. I'm just, going through some little puddles, a little bit of water. Just having fun, just a little off-road place. And I may go get a little bit more footage there. Maybe take the kids tomorrow and do that before I put this up. So it'll be 2 different days worth of footage in there probably. Let's see how that works out. But a little bit more about Subzilla. As I said, it's 1986 K20. As you can see, I've done a little bit of work down here on the dash. It's got all the different gauges I put in. I had the let me get down here. Get my glasses on. So we got the wideband O2 sensor. I had that to help me dial in that Quadrajet, and it was dialed in perfect. It would run right about 13. Right now it's running right about 14 on the wideband. I got it set at 13.8 or 13.9 for cruising. A little bit on the lean side, but I think I'm riching that up just a little bit because it does seem to want a little bit more fuel. I think that with the cam and everything, it wants a little bit more fuel. Got the vacuum gauge down here, water temp, oil pressure, transmission temp, so I can keep an eye on that, see if it starts getting hot. It almost never gets above 180. I think it's about as high as it ever gets. I got an auxiliary cooler. I'll show you some of that in just a minute, some of the underneath stuff. Got the TAC, and then the programmable sport comp speedometer goes up to 120. I'm having weird little issues when I drive. It's kind of a little bit twitchy. I'm not sure what the deal is. It's not mechanical, it's electrical. So I'm sure it's either in there itself or in a little sending unit thing. Let's see what else we got. We got the Boss Audio radio that I put in. I'll have a video on that one coming up. I don't have any speakers yet. Still got to build a center console. Here's the, I got the controller for the transmission. I've still got it where I'm doing adjusting on that, getting things kind of set up so I can get it set up. And then the center console, I just got me some Kenwood speakers. I got some new speakers here. And then in the back, I got to put new speakers. They got me some 6x9s that go inside that box. I'll show you that from the back as well. Of course, I'll put the OBS seats in here. There'll be videos coming on that. I got a lot of stuff to load up to show you guys what's happening. So let's jump out real quick, take a look at a couple things before we get the video going. Yeah, here you go. There's the Milestars. And they work great. 37, 12 and a half, 17. Oh, good thing. You can see back in there is Centromatic wheel balancers, right? Let me see what. Get this. There we go. Centromatic wheel balancers behind that. Those are doing great. This thing really goes. I'm going to start pulling some of these weights off and see if it keeps the balance like it's supposed to. And that should work. Mile marker hubs. This was originally an auto locking hub, but I put in which basically just says it's 4-wheel drive all the time. You just, well, you put in 4-wheel drive. That's all it is. So, but these are set up now, so I can disconnect that. As you can see, I got the Bilstein shocks in there. Got the ceramic coated headers, long tube headers. Got the little extra thing here to limit I put a 6-inch lift in there, so I got the bump stops to help limit some of that travel, so it doesn't just eat this up before I got it. Kind of bumped into that. What else we got going on down here? Built my own transmission cross member, as you can see. A little bit different than what you normally see. It was going to work as a skid plate, which I still got to build a skid plate and put under there. You got 2 O2 sensors, one for the EFI, and then, of course, one for the gauge. Let's see. I dropped this. So this is custom. It's dropped about 1 inch down. A little bit. So I welded all of that frame in, built all of this myself. Probably can't see this. Probably too dark. Let me do that with a light. Anyway, that's what it looks like. We got all this set up. Flowmaster Super 44s. Got exhaust coming all the way out the back. Bilstein's in the back. And then in the back here goes out. There's what the box is. Oh, and it did move, didn't it? Yep, it sure did. When I'm forward a little bit, it moves on me. That's gonna go in place. But I'm about to go get me some plywood right now. I'm gonna build a tray down here with some drawers that come up about this high that I can slide out, put 1 or 2 drawers in there, and then a slide out deck on top of that. So I can put my spare tire so I can pull it. I don't have to have a big giant bumper in the back. Keep my approach angles good, or as good as they can be without chopping anything. Needs a new bumper, and it's coming. But that's it. I think that's looking pretty good. Let me show. Yeah, let's take a look at the engine real quick. We should have enough light for that still before it gets too dark out here. And of course, gotta do the Chevy bump, right? There we go. 2-3 hits on that one. All right. So a little tour under the hood. We'll start out with, there it is, the 496. Did the valve covers, painted all that my stuff myself. There's all your block, your fuel rail, fuel pressure gauge here. So measure for fuel pressure. I mounted the ECM up here, and just kind of got a wire, got all the fuses and relays and all that stuff for back here. MSD blaster 2 coil. I really kind of dig these V-gate little things on here to help run on my power and wiring. I do need to get a battery hold down. Even though it has that down there, it's still a little bit loose. So I'll order one. If it will bounce. So when I go wheeling later, you'll see a part where it's going to bounce pretty good. It knocked this up a little bit loose. It didn't fall out. It stayed where it's supposed to. But I'm going to put my battery hold down here and hold that in place. I upgraded the alternator, 175 amp Power Master. As you can see, this thing works great. I mean, it's not a problem at all. And you run 4 gauge. So I put a 4 gauge here, ground going straight to the block. Then 4 gauge that goes over to the battery. I ran the fuel return. It comes back down here and goes across. This used to be the vapor line for vapor canister. That said, it would sit over here where your vapor canister is supposed to be. I ditched all that, of course, and now it has. That is my fuel return. So it's a 5/16, whatever it is. It runs them back to the tank, and then the 3/8 over on the other side that comes up into the fuel rail right there that you can see. K&N 4-inch, and that's about it. I got the Doral dual cooling fans, 12-inch. Got all that stuff hooked up in here. Put this aluminum shroud in there. It bolts up 4-core radiators, aluminum with plastic tanks. Bought it a long time ago, but it works great. I mean, it doesn't get over where it's supposed to get over. It stays there. Still gonna put another battery in and put a battery hold down because I've got to hook up. And I got to run a cable to that, hook it up. I need a dual battery isolator, and I'm gonna run power for this to run the amps and everything when I put the radio in for the subs and all that junk. And it has an auxiliary oil cooler. I don't know if you can kind of see that. It's for the engine oil. And then I've got an auxiliary for the transmission. Got a filter under here for that. And then, of course, the cooling lines for the oil cooler, all that kind of stuff. I do need to get a new, whatever. Damn, I can't think of what that's called. What is that called, y'all? Steering stabilizer. Going to get a new steering stabilizer. That needs to be replaced. You got to put like an 1.5-inch drop. Oh, you probably can't see that. But anyway, put a drop on the sway bar. I think I'm going to get from Off-Road Design and change it up. I want to get different steering anyway. But that's it. Got the ceramic spark plug wires. Those work like a champ. Still need to do a little cleanup under the hood. I don't really like the way my power steering is run. The lines are kind of jicky, and I got hose clamps and I got stuff, but it does work. Put a lot of different relays and stuff in myself to help power management. I got everything wired up across the top up here. It comes down all my wiring. Got a new fan for the blower, all that kind of stuff. Still need to put the AC in. It does have an AC compressor, but as you can see, there's nothing hooked up. It's just sitting there so the belt has something to spin on. So it's running my belt right now. That's really all it does. I think I actually need to get a new pulley for it as well. I need to work on that. But that's kind of the update on this. There'll be more coming. So I got relays and stuff just laying down in here. I gotta clean some of this up. I got this CAN bus too. I wonder if I can hook this up to run my throttle position sensor instead of the one I've got. I've got this throttle position sensor. I don't even remember who I got that from. But it's right here. It comes up and it works just like the kick down cable. So as you rotate your throttle, it tells you where throttle position is. So that's how that's running. I don't know what this cable goes to. I got some more stuff I got to do down here. That's it. And let me give one more little look at this box. I'm gonna do a video on that probably next. That'll probably be my next video is trying to get some of this box done in the back. As you can see, I got an 8-inch sub that goes here, and then the 6x9 up in the front. And then I'm gonna bolt. Like I said, I'm gonna bolt that plywood down to the floor. I got holes where the old Jeep brackets used to be. Bolt it down. And then it'll have the shelf all built in, and then the slide thing, so it's going to bolt into here, put sides on it. There'll be more detail on that later. But for now, let's go do some four-wheeling, man. I'm ready to try it out. See what we got. All right, Subzilla, let's do it. 53 miles an hour. This is the same thing. Same cruising. Yep, it's running great. Transmission's not even warmed up yet. shifting a second already.
Yeah. So that's like a 4-foot bank right there. Oh yeah. Like nothing.
I'm barely even touching the gas. It's because it's four low.
We actually use off-road vehicles.
Let's see, we did the puddle on the way in. Let's try that mud hole. Let's see. If I can, that'll be good.
For that.
I wasn't either. It was a little more bouncier than we thought it was going to be.
Wait, his belly.
I know, that's why I was like, oops.
Dustin.
Oh, it wasn't like super bad. It's not like it threw us all over crazy.
Can he get out and walk?
Yeah.
His belly
He don't want to.
I'm fine, Mom.
It's fine. We're just driving on a dirt road. We're not doing anything. It was just one little spot we went through. It was covered with water and ruts. It just got a little bouncier than we thought.
Look, if it don't, look, this upsetting me now. I'm worried.
Just kidding. We're just harassed.
Oh my God. Oh.
We're almost on the street. We just went down there to that little bridge. No, he got to run around. He had big fun.
What, Michael, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Let me unlock the hubs right quick. How are we looking here? Looking good, looking good. Got a little mud on it. Got just a little bit of mud. Shock's looking good. How's this one looking here? Woo, we got some mud everywhere. Got lots of mud, but we're looking all right. All right, let's take it back to the house. We got a lot of mud. Now we got to go home and clean it up. This is what we're gonna have: 6-inch drawer. We're gonna slide in and out here with the top on it. It's very targeted on top. That's gonna go in the back. Doesn't look like much now, and it's not much now. But I gotta go get some carriage bolts, some different screws. I got enough wood glue. I'm gonna glue these and screw these from the bottom up, right? Then I can set this in the truck.